What's the most I'm turning into my parents moment for you? I heard a loud noise and instantly got pissed off. I realized I talk exactly like my father. I use the same speech patterns and I don't get to the point, which annoys me as well as anybody listening. My 10-year-old nephew let me win a video game cause he felt bad for me, like I did to my dad 25 years ago on Super Nintendo. My so and I were packing and getting ready to road trip to some family's house for Thanksgiving. As I was cleaning up the house, my so said something along the lines of, "Don't worry about it, you can clean when we get home." I replied with, "I do not want to come home to a dirty house." At that point I realized I'm turning into my mother. My dad used to come and stand behind the sofa wearing an apron whilst I was watching TV, and put his hands on his hips and watch a bit of whatever was on whilst he was waiting for something to cook. I now do exactly the same thing in my flat with my girlfriend when I'm cooking and she's watching TV. Edit, I get it, you don't like that I used whilst. I'm British. I can only apologize for my nationality. Easy, walking around turning off light switches complaining about waste of electricity. My 3-year-old told me as I turned on the TV, "Don't turn on the news, Dad." I 100% remember saying that to my parents. I repeat stories. Every time I go home to visit, I'll hear things from my dad that he's either told me by phone already or stories I've heard 100 times. I found that I have also started telling people about stories from my past that I've already told them. Convenient that I don't make up BS, or I'd have to remember all my BS. I wake up, no alarm, every day at 4 AM to get ready for work. Just sit up like clockwork at 4, never thought I would get to this point. My dad was a fairly tall guy. I used to hate walking with him when I was about 4/5 because he'd take giant steps and I had to basically jog everywhere while he dragged my hand. My son is now 4 and I caught myself doing that exact thing about 2 months ago. Now I walk slower. My dad was always digging himself into holes with his dad jokes, but he's passed that shovel on to me. The realization was groundbreaking. The moment I saw a high school picture of me, turns out it was my dad's high school picture. I'm identical to my father and it's annoying as can be. When I sit down and make a dad noise, I go ah. As I stared into the mass of various saved rubber bands and twist ties. I went mushroom picking with my friend a couple of months ago. We ended up meeting my dad and granddad also mushroom picking. I'm Polish for clarification, and mushroom picking is like a national sport here. Edit, for you guys wondering, I mostly pick bookie, chanterelles. Ate at an expensive restaurant and for a second considered how much better and cheaper it would have been if I made the meal at home. The first time I told my kids to shut the door, "We aren't heating the outside." I finally get why they said it too. It costs money to heat/cool the house. Finding myself excited to go to Lowe's. As a child I hated being dragged to that store. As an adult and new homeowner I totally get the appeal of buying power tools and gardening supplies to work on various home improvement projects. Answering stupid questions with stupid answers. i.e. Family member, "What should I do with this dirty nappy you just changed?" The nappy bin is next to her. Me, "Put it in the fridge, we will eat it later." Edit, a nappy is a diaper. Having children. The shit that I've said has totally been shit my mom used to say. As a middle-aged male, I am turning into my mother and it terrifies me. Example, I swear to God if I have to go in your room to clean it, it's all going into a garbage bag and being donated to kids that will appreciate it. I started enjoying looking at grocery ads for discounts and have 3 discount cards. So I'm at IHOP one day, already finished with breakfast, on my second cup of coffee, and the waiter comes with the bill. As I pull out my debit card to pay it, I put my wallet away and think to myself, "Just let me sit here and enjoy my coffee," which is a phrase that my mother has used so many times at breakfast that she could patent it. I'll admit it does feel nice to just relax and enjoy it instead of rushing out the door as soon as you're done. Now it's something I do routinely. Edit, indeed I realize I can pay the bill and not leave immediately, it's just this one moment I vividly recall not doing so. Also, I probably should have mentioned that the town I live in is pretty small, and IHOP is usually quite dead most of the time. Otherwise I wouldn't take it upon myself to make people wait for a table while I'm just there sipping coffee. I've always joked that my dad isn't really my father and I'm just a clone of my mom. I look like her, laugh like her, same mannerisms etc. Then I got the exact same health issues that she has, at the exact same age they began for her. When I would get irrationally pissed off when I would come home at night and see my roommate left a spoon in the sink instead of just washing it real quick. My dad has worked himself to death. Now he's retired. When he comes over now, as soon as he sits down on a couch he falls asleep within minutes. I'm noticing couches are starting to have the same effect on me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.